What on earth were they thinking? Over 80 employees at one corporation now have microchips implanted into their bodies. That's what we'll be discussing today on the Hodcast. Okay, free thinkers, before we start, let's just quickly get the housekeeping out of the way. If you find this video informative, by all means, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video, and if you could, leave a comment, because all of that stuff really helps me out, and I would like to build a community here. Thank you, let's go. Okay, free thinkers, so this is the website which the story comes out from, technologyreview.com, and what you can see here on your screen is the microchip which goes into the hand of the unlucky individual who thinks he is doing society a favour, I should imagine. The article explains how last August, so this article itself is from, it's almost a year ago now, and the article explains how this company embeds microchips in its employees, and apparently they love it. Isn't it strange how they have to add that little bit there, that just to reassure you that they do love it. They love their microchips. So the article says how when Patrick McMullen wants to get a Dr. Pepper while he's at work, he pays for it with a wave of his hand. You see what they're doing there right off the bat. They are trying to, you could use the word implant. They're trying to implant or install, sorry to use technical jargon, these thoughts in your head that this is some sort of positive, yeah, it's just only for a can of Diet Coke, a can of Dr. Pepper. Who doesn't like Dr. Pepper? Who doesn't like cola? And I'll tell you why they do things like that. As I'm reading this out to you now, reading Dr. Pepper, it's hot here in England at the moment. I'm very thirsty. It's simple, but it's ingenious what they do. I could go for a Dr. Pepper right now. I would love a Dr. Pepper right now. You understand why they do this? So the article continues with Patrick McMullen, the prime sheep of the sheeple flock at this company, stating how happy he is to have his Dr. Pepper, and the vending machine immediately deducts money from his account. Now, if you're a free thinker, which I certainly hope you are watching this channel, that should raise alarm bells in your head, especially seeing as the rate in which people are being depersoned simply for having the wrong opinions seems to be accelerating as time goes by. And as I stated before, Mr. McMullen is the chief sheeple at the company 3 Square Market, which is a technology company, it states here, which provides self-service mini markets to hospitals, hotels and company break rooms. Sort of like it's a self-service machine basically. So what they're hoping they can do is have everyone microchipped, so you could simply wave your hand as it stated earlier and you can get your Dr. Pepper. Of course, all things start small like that. Television itself could be considered as an implant, not of a body, but of a house. What is a house other than a collection of people who are bound together? A body, a human body, is a collection of cells that are bound together, whose goal is to benefit the collective body, whereas a household is a collection of bodies whose goal is to benefit the household. That a television in itself is simply an implant on the house. It was originally designed as something to provide just entertainment, just simple entertainment, and of course it still does provide entertainment, but its chief purpose in this day and age, and certainly for many decades now, has been to indoctrinate people. The entertainment side of things is secondary. You can have your entertainment so long as you allow us to surgically remove your brain and transplant it with a microchip. And what is to stop bigger companies buying them out? I mean, very big companies such as Verizon, Apple, Microsoft, Google. Okay, combine them with all of these Echoes and Siris that they have. These little these boxes that are considered to be home help, a bit like the television was. It's just home help. Look at all the scandals they've had. The scandals they've had where they've been illegally obtaining people's information and spying on their own customers. Okay, the idea came to Mr. Chief Sheeple when he went on a visit in 2017 to Sweden, which is a country where they have been implanting people with subcutaneous microchips to do things like enter secure buildings or to book train tickets. Bearing in mind, Sweden is the world's only recognised third-wave feminist country that's governed by a third-wave feminist government. If you have the wrong opinions, if you are someone who is likely to be depersoned, like Peter Sweden or Sanity for Sweden, which is only a matter of time, then I hope you don't like your train tickets or your Dr. Pepper. Further down to the next paragraph, we get the old, the routine's not that painful. It's no big thing at all. You just don't worry about that. Just have the procedure, okay? Further it down, it says the chips he and his employees got are about the size of a large grain of rice. They're intended to make it a little easier to do things like get into an office, log on to a computer and buy food or drinks, Dr. Pepper, in the company cafeteria. That's the only reason they're doing this, you see. They just want you to buy Dr. Pepper easier. Okay, in case you're wondering how these work, like many RFID chips, they are passive. You gotta love their terminology. They don't have batteries, of course. Should imagine they're far too small to have batteries that would last any significant amount of time, and instead get their power from an RFID reader when it requests data from the chip. And it says how Mr. McMullen, the Chief Sheeple, his chip includes identifying information to grant him access to a building. So if the people who control these microchips or program microchips or future microchips or any updates that to any server that sends out signals to the microchips, if they don't like you for whatever reason, especially your opinions, then you're not getting in. Now in the next paragraph, the article or the writer of the article makes light of the situation. They state that a year into the experiment, Mr. McMullen, the Chief Sheeple, and a few employees say they're still using their chips regularly at work for all their activities they started out with last summer, such as buying their can of Dr. Pepper. Since then, an additional 30 employees have gotten chips, which means that roughly 80 of the company's now 250 employees, or nearly a third of their employee base, are stupid enough to get themselves microchipped. A chip which could be used to require permission simply to open a damn door. And it makes light of them by saying that they are almost walking, talking cyborgs, which is it takes more than a chip to be a cyborg. Let's be honest, okay? Let's get back down to earth here for a second. It takes more to be a cyborg than a chip, but where does it stop? Further down, it states how Sam Bengston, a software engineer, says he uses his chip 10 to 15 times a day. At this point, swiping his hand over an RFID reader plugged into his computer is no different than typing in his password on a keyboard. Well, that's all good and well, Mr. Bengston. But I can see a number of problems with this. For example, your chip is programmed to open a door when it swipes over it, but if something is programmed, then it can be hacked. In the next paragraph, we see how the Vice President of Finance of this company is so used to using his hand to pay for his soda at work that he was annoyed when the RFID reader on the vending machine went down for a couple of months. Well, now there's the problem, isn't it? Remember what I said about hacking? It could be anything. It could be malfunction. It could be anything at all, including you having the wrong political opinions. I mean, it's all good and well using them for sodas, and you know I've been making fun of Dr. Pepper for the last 10 minutes, but this is pretty serious stuff. Human nature dictates that whenever we find something that is convenient to use or successful, we continue to develop it and we continue to go down that road till it meets its conclusion, whether it's logical or illogical. And I'm afraid to say that is demonstrated by yet the next paragraph, which states how the company is also exploring ways to use the microchips outside of the body. The chief sheeple said in August and September the company will be running tests at 2 hospitals. So now they can control various aspects of your health as well. You see what I'm saying? It starts with Dr. Pepper and it ends with cancer.